Welcome back to Starman Media, where we break down wealth, mindset, and the financial blueprints that shift your reality. Today, we're reviewing one of the most famous books on money ever written, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. This isn't just a book, it's a mindset revolution. It divides the way most people think about money into two categories: the mindset of the poor and middle class, and the mindset of the wealthy. Let's go deep into why this book has changed millions of lives and how its lessons can change yours. The foundation of Rich Dad Poor Dad comes from Robert Kiyosaki's own life. He grew up with two father figures. His biological father, his poor dad, was highly educated, believed in job security, and followed the traditional path: go to school, get a degree, and work hard for someone else. His rich dad, the father of his best friend, didn't have formal education, but had financial intelligence. He understood assets, investments, and how to make money work for him. Kiyosaki listened to both, but ultimately realized that the rich dad's way of thinking led to freedom. The biggest lesson in this book is simple but powerful. The rich don't work for money. They make money work for them. Most people spend their entire lives trading time for a paycheck. They go to work, they get paid, and they repeat the cycle until retirement. But the wealthy flip that equation. They build systems, businesses, and investments that keep generating income whether they're working or not. This is what Kiyosaki calls building assets instead of piling up liabilities. Let's break down the difference. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket: stocks, rental properties, intellectual property, or a business you own are assets. A liability takes money out of your pocket: mortgages, car loans, credit card debt, even lifestyle expenses. All of these are liabilities when they drain cash flow. Poor Dad saw the family home as an asset because it represented success and security. Rich Dad saw it as a liability if it cost more than you paid. That shift in thinking changes everything. Another major principle in Rich Dad Poor Dad is financial literacy. We live in a society where people can graduate with degrees in science, art, or business, but never learn how money actually works. Schools teach you how to work for companies, but not how to own your own and invest in them. Rich Dad insisted that financial education is more important than formal education. It's not about how much you earn, it's about how much you keep and how well you grow it. Without financial literacy, high income often leads to higher expenses, not wealth. The book also talks about escaping the rat race. The rat race is the cycle of working to pay bills, buying liabilities, and then working harder to cover more bills. Most people are trapped in this cycle because they rely only on earned income. Rich Dad taught Kiyosaki that the key is building passive income streams. When your passive income covers your expenses, you are financially free. That doesn't mean you stop working. It means you work because you want to, not because you have to. One of the most practical lessons is about taking calculated risks. Poor Dad believed in job security and avoiding mistakes. Rich Dad believed that mistakes were the best teachers and that playing it safe often meant missing out on opportunities. This doesn't mean gambling blindly, but it does mean being willing to learn, experiment, and sometimes fail on the way to success. Financial freedom doesn't come without risk, but the risk is managed by knowledge and preparation. The book emphasizes entrepreneurship. Working a job gives you a paycheck, but owning a business gives you leverage. Rich Dad encouraged Kiyosaki to see himself not as an employee, but as an owner and investor. Even if you do work a job, you should think like an owner. Look for ways to invest, build systems, and create value beyond your paycheck. Another big lesson is about taxes. Rich Dad showed that the rich legally pay less in taxes not because of loopholes, but because they use the system. They earn through corporations, investments, and assets that are taxed differently from wages. Poor Dad earned the salary, paid taxes first, and then lived off what was left. Rich Dad built structures where expenses and investments came first and taxes came later. Understanding how money flows in the tax system is part of the financial intelligence. The theme that runs through the entire book is mindset. Poor Dad saw money as something to be earned, saved, and cautiously spent. Rich Dad saw money as a tool to be multiplied. Poor Dad believed in working for stability. Rich Dad believed in working for freedom. These two worldviews are what separate those who stay stuck from those who build wealth. So what's the verdict? Rich Dad, Poor Dad is not a technical manual on investing. You won't walk away knowing exactly which stocks to buy or how to analyze a property deal. What it gives you is far more powerful, a new way of seeing money. It gives you the mindset of wealthy, to seek assets, to prioritize financial literacy, to escape the rat race, to embrace risks, and to think like an owner. If you're serious about financial independence, this book is a must read. But don't just read it, use it as a reminder. Each time you pick it up, you'll find another way to shift your habits toward building assets instead of liabilities. Wealth isn't about working harder, it's about thinking smarter. The rich don't work for money, they make money work for them. That's the lesson of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it's a lesson that can change your life if you apply it. If you read the book, drop your favorite lesson in the comments. If not, I highly recommend starting today, because the sooner you learn to think like a rich dad, the sooner you can escape the cycle of the poor dad. Stay locked in. It's Starman Media, where we break down the knowledge that builds wealth, freedom, and power.
The knowledge don't stop here, it circulates. If this unlocks up menu, don't just sit with it, build with it. We got more drops coming. Stay tapped in. Until next time, stay hidden.